Now it's time for a Chat with Pat.
Yes, and today I'm so excited. Our guest today is Ephraim Radner. He's a professor emeritus of historical theology at Wycliffe College. He wrote a fantastic article in First Things called Why Me? Welcome, Professor Radner. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you. Nice to be with you.
Oh, I love this this article. There's so much food for thought here, but let's jump right into it. One of the things that you say in the midst of suffering, when we say, why me, that statement kind of expresses a misunderstanding of human identity. Can you kind of fill in the audience on what you mean by that?
Well, I was trying to point to the fact that often when something difficult or bad happens, and we turn to ourselves as the victim or subject, why me?
Right.
We've placed ourselves in a frame of reference in which we are all alone. We're the only person affected. We're the only person who is actually experiencing anything with respect to this episode that is so difficult for us. When in fact, we're surrounded by, we're connected to friends and family and coworkers and so on. We're never alone with respect to our connection to other people. I'm leaving God aside at this point. But me is never just me. It's always lots of other people.
So,
Why me when I'm sick? But there's somebody taking care of me. There's somebody I'm living with. There's somebody I'm related to that this is also affecting. Mm-hmm. And so that the question is actually much bigger than just me. Yeah. My suffering is always a part of somebody else's life. That's the first main thing I wanted to press on.
Oh, and you did it wonderfully. And the other thing, too, that you bring up that I found very interesting is that you say that this why me question seems to be more of a modern question. And obviously you're a professor of historical theology. So why is this a modern question? What previously went before it when people dealt with suffering?
Well, right. And as I note, everybody has always suffered in all of human history, and everybody has always wondered what it's about. But it's just interesting that the question rarely comes up before the modern period. And that's probably because of several reasons, but one of which I just alluded to. People realize that their own suffering was a part of a bigger picture, always involving other people. And therefore, this sort of central focus on just me. What am I feeling? What does it mean for me instead of what does it mean for my family? Or how do I relate to them? What can I bring to the situation that touches them as well? So that suffering, when we die or we get sick and we're put in hospital rooms by ourselves, but as we know, for most of human history, people lived in their homes. Yeah. There were no hospitals. If they were sick, somebody was with them. And therefore, me was never the only person affected. The ultimate point here, though, is that it's not just if I suffer, somebody else is suffering. It's also that my suffering has a meaning that can touch other people. Other people are involved in good by helping me. Other people are involved in sorrow by sympathizing with me. Other people are involved in whatever I bring and can bring through courage or through patience and so on. This was understood far better than in a world like our own, where we see ourselves as simple individuals isolated from everybody else, and where meaning is so focused just on what I can grasp and what touches me. And that is a modern phenomenon. And as I say, it's interesting that one doesn't read that question until before really the 18th, 17th, 18th century.
Yeah, that is. And so do you find that because we've moved into this more individualistic kind of concept in our society, that has been what has been fueling this physician-assisted suicide, euthanasia, and seeing that as being very good and benevolent.
Yes, and I mentioned that absolutely. I mean, the notion that my death now, my suffering before I die, is all about me, which is where assisted suicide is located in terms of the legal realities. If I feel, and I've lived in Canada a long time, the word is intolerable suffering. If I feel suffering personally, then my life is no longer worth living. Instead of asking the question, what can my suffering bring to the lives of others, and what can others bring to me? That question simply doesn't appear in the legal framework regarding assisted suicide in any country or state in the U.S. that has it.
So how does the book of Job enlighten us on this?
Yes, and I did bring that up.
You did.
He does
Beautifully.
complain to God about why this is happening to him. Not quite in the same simple phrase as why me, but there's some phrases in the book of Job that are similar to that. Mm-hmm. But again, most people who have read that book understand that Job is not alone. Yeah. I mean, one of the main things about the book is that it's about him and 3 friends.
Exactly.
When he's suffering, he is with 3 friends, and whether one likes what his friends say or not, they're with him to the end.
Yeah.
So that conversation is very important, and he's also conversing with God, obviously, in the major way, so that he is never alone. He is asking a question that is not thrown out into the empty universe. It's a question thrown to God, who is always with him. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, I pointed out in the little article, when people read Job, they understood Job to be written, so it's in the Bible, as it were, in order that to underline the fact that Job's suffering is something to be seen by all people. It's not something that he sits in a corner all by himself suffering.
Right.
He is there to be seen. I spoke of Gregory the Great.
Yes,
by
did.
Angels.
Yeah.
By angels and the powers of heaven. In addition, of course, to all of us who read the book. So again, his suffering turns out not to be alone at all, but to be something that he brings to others and brings to the world, and he brings to us as a gift to learn from.
Oh, Professor Radner, this was a great article. Thank you so much for writing it, and thank you so much for being with us.
My pleasure. I'm very glad to be with you. God bless.
God bless, and have a great weekend.